Impeachment is just as urgent with respect to what's likely to happen in Iran absent impeachment as it is for constitutional reasons. Let me explain. This administration is gearing up to bomb and to missile attack Iran. We know about these plans. Even Don Rumsfeld, when he was in office, had that wonderful, I don't know if you ever caught that thing, and he was asked about war plans, and he said, there will always be war plans, thank the good Lord. Well, anyhow, there are war plans, okay? Now, why have they not been carried out so far? I thought that when Cheney gave the Israelis the green light on Inauguration Day 2005, when he was asked by Imus in the morning, well, suppose the Israelis start to move against the Iranians. You remember what Cheney said? Well, they might do that, and then we'd be left to pick up the pieces. Pretty darn nonchalant, huh? I had expected that we would have done that by now. Okay, now we haven't. Why? Well, maybe I was wrong. I mean, that's always, I've been wrong lots of times, but also maybe our senior military, recognizing that this is disastrous, that Iran has all kinds of potential to be really dangerous to us and to Israel and to everybody else, that they put the kibosh on it by saying, Mr. President, this time we'd like to brief you on what we would expect on day 2 and day 3 and week 3, like the Iraqis could cut our supply lines between Kuwait and Baghdad, and they would have not 52 hostages, but 52,000 hostages, and you would have to, you'd have no reinforcements, so you'd be forced to resort to mini nukes, and we don't really want to do that, Mr. President. That's not a really good idea. So I think not only that, but I think that there are some principled senior military officers, like Petraeus's boss, Fox Fallon, Admiral Fallon, who I know has said privately, we're not going to do Iran on my watch. Now, what an admiral or general says in private is very different sometimes from what he'll do when he's ordered. So do I expect if Cheney or Bush ordered him to implement Plan A, and all these blue-suited generals say we can do this with nobody getting shot down, and we have these smart bombs, and we just it's a piece of cake, it's a cakewalk from the air, right? Okay. So Fallon's given the order to do this. Now he says to himself, "My God, my infantry, my Marines are decimated. They're not really up to much anymore. We're going to start a wider war with a very, very powerful country because they have a nuclear weapon? No, they don't have a nuclear weapon. There's no nuclear weapon expected in Iran for 5, 6, 7 years. So why am I being ordered to do this?" Now, if impeachment proceedings have begun, even if it's a preliminary investigation, then we give people like Admiral Fallon something to hang their hat on. He might say, oh, wait a second, am I being asked to start a regional, maybe a world war, to save the hide of a guy who was a deserter during Vietnam, of a guy who took 5 craft deferments rather than serve because he had other priorities? Is that what I'm being asked to do? No thanks. I'm going down to the Washington Post this afternoon, tell him what the president's ordered me to do, put my name on the retired list, and just let the chips fall where they may. Now, what do I weigh the chances of that happening? I don't know. I'm more encouraged by knowing, I know the guy that Fallon said that to, okay? So it's real. So we have to give him something that he can hang his hat on and say, look, this is a charade, this is crazy, and not do it. And there are movements, to get the senior military aboard on this, and the ones that are not like Petraeus, the ones that aren't sort of, rank careerists may just, if they've been able to prevent it so far, there's some chance they could prevent it. And that, my friends, is my own little reason for making impeachment urgent. Now, not the whole thing, but the initiation of impeachment. And that's why we have to work on every congressman, everyone who has any influence, and any senator, to get this stuff started, because I truly fear that Iran is next in the crosshairs.